Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to be covering some highlights for me from the Manhattan Grand Prix. This race was my first in Southern California. The crit scene there in Southern California is pretty big, and I was really excited to get to mix it up and learn a little bit and see what it's all about. The field today, this is the Elite Four men's field. There's about 65 riders starting in the race. This is one of the bigger fields that I've competed in. So I was a little bit nervous heading into it with the sheer number of riders and not being familiar with almost anyone there. And I say that I'm not familiar with anyone there as a rider from Velo Kings actually ends up right in front of me. We did have just a couple of riders from NorCal who were also in the area or maybe wanted to do the race, came down for it. I think the Tarun Elite Squad also came out and did the Pro Men's. So overall, I don't know almost anyone in this race. I've never raced the course before, but I'm excited to be here and kind of riding this kind of lumpy, weird kind of two-corner, quote-unquote two-corner crit. I only say two corners because it has four corners, but they're linked so closely that they really feel like two when you go through them. But yeah, this is the opening lap. It starts off surprisingly slow, very controlled, very safe. I was pleasantly surprised. There was nothing crazy out of the gate. I got to go and roll my lap at a very reasonable pace and get to understand the course a little bit better. There is a little hill out of this corner right here, corner 3, or we'll just call it corner 2, I guess. We'll say there's corner 1 and corner 2. Coming out of corner 2, you climb that riser and you start rolling down on this straightaway. This straightaway was really fast. If you were a bigger rider, this spot was probably where you got all your rest. And if you're someone like me, you get some rest probably, but not a ton. And after that little drop, the road kind of flattens out as you head around this corner. This corner is super long and drawn out. It feels like you just keep winding around it forever and ever. The start-finish line is up ahead, but it's way up ahead. Right now we're just passing the 100 meters to go. And when I looked at the course, I thought, okay, most people are going to try to go at the end of this race. They're going to try to sprint early, thinking that the finish line is relatively soon because of the corner, and they might burn up. So going into this, I was thinking if I do make it to the end here and I have good positioning and I'm able to sprint, I don't want to open it up too early. I want to keep it controlled until maybe that 100 meters or even a little bit less to go, and then pop off and pop around and get going. Okay, so there's a single lap around the two-turn course. Let's move forward a little bit farther into the race and discuss some of the course dynamics and the teams that were represented, and then maybe even some of the team tactics or lack thereof that started to develop. We're about 20 minutes into the race, and the pack has settled into their pace. It's been uneventful, pretty boring. You can see right now it almost looks like a coffee ride. It's not super hard. My heart rate's down at 152. Yeah, things are chill, and I'm excited. I'm looking at this going, wow, this race is easy. It's feeling easy for me. This is great. And yeah, so that's good. But really, I wanted to take a moment to talk about the cornering uh, in this crit, and my issue was it was really slow. Many times when we were rolling through these corners, we were doing so at around 15 miles per hour, 14 miles per hour. And I kept thinking to myself, why are we going this slow? Why are we using brakes so aggressively in these corners? It didn't seem necessary. I don't know if it's like this at all the crits in Southern California, but it made for a much more surgy race than it needed to be, probably. And I found myself just a little bit, generally, like, unhappy being at the back of the pack and finding myself hitting the brakes as hard as I was and not rolling through these corners very smoothly. You'll see that we have turn 1 coming up right now. We're headed in at 27 miles an hour. This is good. We should be able to roll through it at probably 18 or 20, ideally. But if you look off to the side, there we go, all the way down to 16, 15 miles an hour. And then you get this massive power spike, 600 watts, to get back up 24 miles an hour. And this just kept happening over and over. So that was kind of a little bit annoying. Oh, and then here's another thing, course dynamics. A lot of people were riding this corner as if there was a center line rule in effect. And I just used the opportunity, I think 4 or 5 times, if I ended up shuffled down at the back of the race. I just used it, pressed on, did a controlled effort, and quite literally passed the entire pack. And now I'm top 5, fifth wheel. To me was a modest output of energy. And so that was one of the things I did repeatedly and felt pretty good about, because the race didn't feel hard. And here I'm taking the opportunity to get on the front, not because I want to make the race hard or because I want to pull everyone along. I don't have the kind of fitness to sit out in the wind the entire race and just, keep pulling. What I wanted to do was take some of these corners at speed, or at speed similar to what they might be on the last lap. So I was able to roll through this corner at 23 miles an hour, not use my brakes, keep it smooth, and understand what it felt like to hit the corner faster than I could if I was at the back of the pack taking it at 15 miles an hour. So I wanted to do this, and I purposefully went up here so that in the last lap, when things are fast, it wasn't my first time taking that corner very fast. So I felt a lot more comfortable knowing that I could roll through this corner super fast and be ready when the bell lap came. So I mentioned the race was feeling pretty easy and that there were just a few people from Northern California here. And just off to my left right now is Wei. Wei is a super strong rider who I ride with regularly in the 3-4 field. I definitely was keeping an eyeball on him in the field since he is someone I knew was fast and is a very good rider. But the pace is so easy and things are so chill that I'm able to just have a conversation with him and chat. Like, this race is so not dynamic that I was comfortable sitting in the back of the field and just having a chat with him, because though there are teams represented here, no one seems to be attacking. No one seems to be trying to create a break. There's rarely anyone off the front. If it is, they're solo. No one attacks after it. No one latches on. That was an interesting thing, and that's probably one of the more stark things I noticed about this race, or that I found strange, was we do have teams. I saw these go fast guys in purple. I saw some of these blue jerseys. This guy with the bright neon had a couple riders. SBW, this guy who just rolled up. They had 3 or 4 riders, but no one from any of those teams was either trying to control the race, create a break, make the race hard, or generate opportunities that resulted in their man being in the break. And that was very weird to me. I figured going in, hey, some of these teams are going to, especially the ones that have 4 or 5 people in them, they're going to try to attack, and then they're going to use the team tactics to actually help their guy get away. I didn't see that at all. It was just like, it didn't feel like any of them were on a team. Like it seemed like just individual riders riding for themselves, or like they would ride together, but not in a way that was about making the race hard for anyone else. So that was fascinating, and I thought it odd and strange. Yeah, you can see the 2 SBW riders here. There's the purple Go Fast guy up ahead. Just easy, rolling in the pack. No one wanted to try a breakaway, and I figured maybe if a couple of those teams got into a breakaway, it would be dangerous, and then someone like myself would have to chase. No one even tried, so that was weird, but it helps me, right? Like I get a better chance at being in the final if none of these teams actually work and use their numbers to create situations that are difficult for other riders. We're at the tail end of the race now. We're 35 minutes into this crit. Things have been pretty easy. My heart rate is very low. I'm relaxed. I'm sitting 5th wheel. That was the bell lap. I'm feeling great right now. Things have been pretty safe the entire race. And then this happens. This guy on Velo Kings, everyone in Southern California seemed very controlled and raced very safe. And then the only time that I have something that I deem like semi-dangerous happen is one of the 2 other people from Northern California. That guy just took that line. So he went outside to inside, and he really cut the apex. It's the racing line for sure. Was it clean? Yeah, it was fine. But he definitely got a little selfish with the course there. Maybe that's what you should do on the bell lap, but he came right across my front wheel, and he did not stay outside. Shout out to this junior here in the pink. Riding amazing. Look at him. It's bell lap. Look at the positioning. So good. Rode so safe. Rode really well. Only junior in the field, I believe. Yeah. Very strong rider. I don't know how old that youngster is, but very impressive, I'll say. But yeah, we're coming into the last half of the lap now, and things are starting to get a bit more spicy. Of course, that's what you expect. Everyone starts to fight for position. I came around the finish line in 5th wheel, and now I'm actually moving backward a little bit. That's not really what you want. As this lap ticks onward, I'm sitting at like 20th wheel or more, and I need to be more like 10th wheel probably. I recognize that though. At this point, you see people sitting up and peeling off. They're starting to gas out, and I'm looking ahead going, oof, I've got some ground to make up, and I need to squeeze down on the throttle here and get after it. So that's what I start doing. I also know this finish line drag is really long. Here's the Go Fast guys on the right-hand side. Looks like they're trying to do a lead out for their sprinter there at the back. But they're a little far back in the field to be doing a lead out at all. I look forward and I see the pace is starting to slow up, and I decide to get going and start pulling forward. So this was me starting my sprint. I got cut off. This guy almost fell, and then I sit up and I say, forget it. I want to get past that guy because he almost fell, whatever. And that's my race. 17th out of 65. Shout out to Wei, who got second in this race. His positioning was great, and he went really early. Although he got passed right at the end, he definitely put in a major effort to take home silver. So good on him. And that was my first race in Southern California. Pretty good race. Didn't feel that hard. Surprisingly, what I would say is surprisingly uneventful. And yeah, that's it. Cheers.